In our riding journey, we seek to discover the different sides of the places we visit and the people we meet, while bringing out the best in ourselves. Our shared human experience teaches us to appreciate other people's cultures, beliefs, and customs, as well as our own. Distance is just a test to see how far we are willing to go. And when we do it out of passion, the distance is worth it. Today, Silas and I are on our way to Bintulu, where we will meet up with two lovely ladies bikers, Belinda and Clara. They will be joining us to experience Uma Bello in Leodian, the Kayan traditional longhouse and the longest longhouse in Malaysia. Just how long are we talking about? It can house up to 100 families at a time, and during special occasions such as the traditional festival, the longhouse can accommodate up to 700 people at a time. We meet with Daisy to show us the way of living in this phenomenal piece of architecture.
Hi. Hello. Daisy and family. Wait, siapa ini?
Ada.
Macam kenal?
Macam kenal.
Ya, macam pernah jumpa.
Macam pernah jumpa dia.
Alright, we're now being welcomed by Daisy at her wonderful homestay here in Bakun Homestay, kan?
Yeah, Bakun.
Okay, and there is a tradition in which they welcome us with this nice drink called the burak. The burak, if we were in the Iban Longhouses recently, it's called tuak, but here is burak, and boy, it looks so enticing. So, Daisy, macam mana kami mau enjoy this wine?
Okay, kita sebelum minum, kita buat satu nada yang
Menyemarakkan semangat, kah?
Menyemarakkan semangat. Okay.
Okay.
Wewe.
Wow! Hey, dinner's ready!
Wow, so much food today. As usual, I'm very hungry. Daisy, tell us, what do we have here?
Okay, saya sediakan ini daun ubi.
Okay.
Dengan campurannya tepus dan juga bunga katan. Semua dari hutan.
I see. Okay, and how about this one?
Ini cangkuk manis, tanam sendiri.
Semua organik lah.
Ya.
This fish looks very interesting. I love fish. What fish is this?
Ya. Kita sediakan ada dua jenis ikan. Satu ini ikan bengalan.
Ikan
dan
bengalan.
yang satu ini anak ampurau.
Anak empurau.
Wow.
Untungnya kita.
Puyo. I'm looking forward, man.
Bungkus itu dengan nasi.
Daun apa tu?
Kita panggil daun sip.
Daun sip.
Daun sip.
Daun sip. Okay. Very organic. I like it. Ada plastik sini.
Ini kita masak ayam pansuh.
Oh.
Okay. Dia memang semua yang dari hutan.
Ya.
Tepus ada, daun ubi, serai, dan juga bunga katan juga kita letak sikit.
Okay. Ini saya pandai masak sudah.
Ya.
Tu hari di Semadang.
Ya kan.
Some
Dia makan
very.
buluk tu. Boleh tahan dia masak.
Wah.
Yeah. How about the one, the far end one? This here. Wow. Nanas.
Buah nanas. Kita tanam sendiri di sini.
Okay. Oh, tapi the color is a very bright, darker shade of yellow.
Ya.
Wow, nice.
It looks really sweet to me. I bet it is. Because from the color you can tell.
Yeah.
How okay.
I can tell because I already ate some.
You did? No wonder. Half missing. What is
It was
this,
very
man?
good. I assure you it's very good.
Alright, shall we dig in?
Ya, jom kita makan.
Okay, silakan.
We continue to bond over food before trying out our hands on making the kalupis.
Why yours so flat, ah?
No.
Mine lain ba? Begini kan? Terbalik.
It takes just a little bit of hand skills to do it, and in no time, I think it's okay to say that we have become experts. It is enchanting to listen to the sound of sape, a traditional lute instrument, play while watching the symbolic traditional dances being performed. It tempts me to give the beautiful dance a try, since it appears to be performed to honor the majestic hornbill, Sarawak's state symbolic bird, and its exquisite flight movements. The steps are so graceful, and I sway as best as I can. Not wanting to miss out on the action, Silas tries out the ngajak, a warrior dance, and I think he's done a good job getting into character. It's time to say bye-bye to Bintulu. We will be on our way to our longest leg of the journey from here. Our ride to Miri is around 202 kilometers. That's no less than 3 hours on the road. With that distance, we better make sure we refuel our tanks. Well, no time to waste then. Let's hit the road, or ferry first. Stay with us as we journey on to Miri. We're almost there. What a ride this has been. We figure we might as well slow things down and catch up with friends over food and take a breather before continuing this great journey into Miri, the second largest city in Sarawak. Here, we'll do a quick view of the city's mascot, the seahorse, and the grand old lady, Malaysia's very first oil well. Then, move on to our final stop.
Hi, I'm Silas from Kuching. This is a chance for me to actually explore a lot more of Sarawak. We actually got to venture to some really fun places along this journey. We had to deal with a lot of things like bad weather, unfortunate circumstances like her bike not coming out from the ship quickly enough, not cleared by customs quickly enough. We also had to deal with like last-minute decision-making in changes in the program, should we go to a venue or not. And all these things were part and parcel of the adventure in pulling together this story. So it started off from our producer, Andy, and meeting up with Chiayi in Kota Kinabalu. And then after that, we said, hey, let's try out this adventure story of Chiayi being a new rider, a lady rider, exploring the boundaries of her ability to try new things on a motorcycle. So she picked up motorcycling just in November last year and joined 2 of my classes. And for me, this was a big challenge because I'm quite critical about the riding capability of any motorcycle show host. We we went on again on the journey, and this time the production van couldn't keep up with us. And it was a little bit frustrating because we were running short of time, and I had planned for a nice shortcut from Jepak to Bintulu. We don't have to use the entire highway, we'd use the ferry to get across. We made it on time, but the crew van was too far away, so we went on our own, took some videos, we went in, parked our bikes, and we crossed the river. It was a beautiful experience. So when we got down to town, we picked up her spare tubes from Bintulu, and she bought a new pair of gloves. So yeah, all is settled. You can see we still prioritize safety, and it's all good. Up until that point, right, everything had been like as I thought it would be, with all these little hiccups, and I thought, okay, I think we got everything sorted now, and let's go on our journey. But yesterday, on the way back from Marudi, I left my handphone on my bike, and same thing. We're riding out from the ferry. There were a couple of other lady bikers with us, and as we rode off, I was just thinking, what happened to Chiayi again? Why has she disappeared? Man, and I put my hand into my jacket and I was just thinking, oh, where's my phone? I made a U-turn and asked her, did my phone drop? And she was like, yeah. So, 4th time that Chiayi has rescued me throughout this entire adventure. So all I can remember now is while I was very focused on Chiayi's preparedness to ride and to tour, it ended up with me being rescued by her 4 times. During this trip, did I experience any firsts? And I would say yes. We went to Sapit, Kampung Sapit. We went to Telok Melano on the first day. And I have never stayed in Telok Melano, ever. All right, so on the first day already I had a new experience. I stayed in Telok Melano. The next day, we went to Kampung Sapit and hiked all the way to the lookout point where the boundary peg was, the border peg. I knew about it. I know people who have been there, I know who to take us there, but I've never been there as well. So, second first for me during this production. So it's also a new story for me. And then we moved on to Lamindana, which is a place run by my cousin, Diana Rose. And yes, I've been there, but I've never stayed overnight there as well. So this is also my first time staying overnight in Lamindana. So 3 days in a row, first time, first time, first time. Before that, we stayed in the Rantau Kemiding Longhouse at Uncle Benjamin Anki's homestay. But it's the first time for me to be chopping the renyai, and that was also fun. It's something that I could experience with Chiayi in this little story.
This is my dancer.
Okay. Later you're going to dance here, is it?
And we moved on from there to Uma Belo, the longest longhouse in Sarawak and probably the longest in the world as well. And they also have the Guinness record for the longest mat, I believe, floor mat. It was my first time staying there as well. I've heard about it, I've seen all my friends go there, I know who to contact and who to arrange to get there, but I've never stayed there. And it was very nice because I asked for a special fish to be presented, which is the sema, which is my favorite fish. But Daisy presented us with a small ampurao, which is like the most expensive river fish here in Sarawak. So that was a wonderful experience for us. This final bit of travel yesterday was really fun because in Chiayi's own words, Silas, have you ever ridden with so many ladies in one group at one time? And I say for a lady-specific group, no, this was probably the first time I got to ride with so many ladies, and I actually had to wait for one who was a new motorcyclist riding to Marudi's narrow, twisty and winding roads. And I had to wait for her. I didn't have to wait for Chiayi anymore. I was very proud that I didn't have to wait for Chiayi because my star student of the trip was going ahead on her own. And that was a really good thing. And I think, in conclusion, after this whole experience riding with Chiayi in Ride Your Story, I think Chiayi is ready to write more stories of her own. And I hope that all the other lady bikers out there will also be inspired to write their own stories. So go out there, stay safe, but have a lot of fun.
We started this adventure together and we survived until the end together. We did it! I did it! Thinking back on all the places I've been, all the things I've done, and all the rivers I've crossed and roads I've traveled on, and not to mention the wonderful people I've met during my riding escapades, I have to admit that I've done myself proud. I mean, who would have thought I would make it this far riding a bike? I'm here in Miri at the end of a very long and exciting journey. I started this journey during MCO. I'm what everybody call an MCO rider. So I had a good career, but I feel that there is something that I want to pursue. A hobby that I've always wanted to pick up, motorcycling. But I've been wanting to do it for so long that when MCO came, it was the best opportunity for me to pick up riding. I never look back and I'm very thankful. One year into riding, I have actually traveled and rode with a lot of different bikers. This has been such an amazing journey. We started Ride Your Story in Sabah. My first co-rider was Tiny Jen. I only knew her from Facebook, from social media, but when I called her to ask her whether she wanted to join me on this journey, she immediately said yes. Tiny Jen arrived in town. We immediately became good friends. She did not feel like a stranger to me at all. We started riding in Sabah. It was the start of a very amazing journey for me. Being a new rider, I was not very confident. I was excited, but I was not very confident. And Jen encouraged me. She rode at a pace that I was comfortable with. When we went to Kudat, surfed together, we enjoyed food, we met new people. I then realized that this is what life is about. You go on a journey, you don't know what to expect, but as it unfolds, you meet new people, you learn new things, and you discover yourself. I think that is the best part. That is the best part of what I've experienced through riding. Coming to Sarawak was again a different journey. Sarawak is a new place for me. I've not ridden here before, and I'm very lucky to be joined by my sifu, Mr. Silas, who was also my instructor for my riding course. Silas is a very dynamic friend, rider, instructor. He was the one who planned our journey and who told me that be ready to expect the unexpected.
Was it with rain early morning?
Early in the morning there was rain.
That is what he equipped me with. Just as life is, we never know what's going to come. So I attended his course. I equipped myself with the necessary skill to protect myself against all these risks that everybody was talking about. But riding is not a dangerous sport if you educate yourself properly, get the correct protection, and learn the necessary skills to practice defensive riding. Once I've equipped myself, I can then really enjoy my ride. Sarawak was very different in the sense that I had to sometimes navigate through traffic that I'm not familiar with. But because Silas was riding with me, I felt I was in good hands. And going to places that I'm unfamiliar with was also something very exciting. I may have met new people, but I'm very familiar with the culture. But that was very different with Sarawak. Language was slightly different, even though we're in the same country. I then suddenly realized, like, look, Malaysia is actually really very diversified, and we should all travel our own country to meet our own people. When I went into Sapit, it was raining in the morning. We had an early morning start. I was in unfamiliar territory. It was steep, it was wet, it was cold. I was very nervous. I could not see very well. Under his lead, we rode all the way up to Sapit, and we met with Mr. Bigus, who then walked us to the border of Kalimantan. I was very impressed with Mr. Bigu's knowledge, how he was able to cultivate his land, bring guests, and share with all the guests who arrive his knowledge about the border, about the land that he has cultivated, about the family across the border that still celebrate and shares life with each other. It was a very different kind of life that I'm used to. A very simple, honest, and yet fulfilling and wholesome kind of living. So once again, my horizon has opened up. There's so much more to explore. On the Pan Borneo Highway, I saw development in progress. We are finally progressing. I look forward to the completion of the Pan Borneo Highway that will finally bring Sabah and Sarawak closer. One of the main things that I took back from this journey is this. We wanted good weather, but it was raining most of the time. I was prepared for it, even though I wasn't looking for it. Again, I take this back. Life is like that. Things happen, and it teaches you things. And then on hindsight, when I look at it, I wouldn't want it anywhere different.
Life doesn't always turn out the way we plan, does it? I
finally understood the cliche saying that it is the journey that matters more than the destination. Learning how to ride a motorcycle really tested my patience, endurance, and courage, and to surrender to a situation not planned for. Don't get me wrong, surrendering is not giving up, but learning to accept the situation I'm in, seeing the funny side of it, stopping to take a break, and trusting that there is always something I can do to improve the situation and eventually be on my way again. What I really enjoyed was learning to get back up after falling, picking up my bike, tackling obstacles I never thought I could, accepting and asking for help, making friends along the way, and finally arriving at my destination late and exhausted but proud and satisfied. Do not let fear and doubt stop you from chasing your dream. It is your journey, others can't write it for you, so go out there and write your own story.